Round three team. Sorry about that, guys. Little late, running through some stuff, getting stuff set up. So I just wanted to come to you with my first 2 months of results. So we're going to dive right into it. I'm not going to take too much of your time, but I've just been having a great time these past few months. I appreciate everyone who's been rocking with me. I mean, it's been awesome. Seriously. So, first week, we were on Sean Strickland in the main event, and our underdog lock was Sergey Spivak. Both those cashed, and I mean, it was an awesome way to start the channel off. It was really great. So, following week, followed it up really well. It was honestly a perfect week. We went 13-0. He had King Green is our underdog lock, and we had Lone Kavanaugh in the main event. And if you watch that fight, you saw exactly what I saw, which was a young up-and-comer ready for the spotlight. It was a beautiful performance, and hopefully we see Moreno back sometime this year. That would be awesome. So moving on to the next week, that was kind of our first rough patch. Max Holloway, I didn't think that Charles was going to be able to take him down the way he did. The size difference was a huge factor in that fight. Charles was a true 155er, and Max did not look like it at all. So hats off to Charles in that fight. You know, new BMF champ. So interesting to see if they're going to give him that counter fight or whatever's going to happen there. And then we had Bruno Ferreira as our underdog lock, and that fight ended in a punch. One punch over. So shout out to RoboCop in that one. You know, he derailed us, and so did Charles. So on to the next week from there, we had Steven Asplund as our underdog lock, and man, he let me down. That was a really rough one because I felt he could have won that fight in the first round if he would have just turned it on. But he was just being too cautious and not trusting his volume like he did in the previous fight. So hopefully Steven can get it back on track. I wonder who they're going to match him up with next. And that was the Kevin Vallejos main event. If I have my cards matched up. If I don't, I apologize. I should, though. Kevin Vallejos, yeah, he put it on. Oh, goodness. Oh, I'm so sorry. Bear with me. Who did he fight? Goodness, I'm sorry. You guys know the power puncher, the veteran. You know, they were setting him up. And that was just a rough look for him. I thought it would go rounds. I did not think Kevin Vallejos would get the finish in the first round of that fight. Josh Emmett. I did not think Josh Emmett was going to get finished up in the first round. That was upsetting to see. And I even said after that fight, I don't think Josh Emmett really needs to retire. I just think he needs better matchups. He's been in the deep end for the past 5-6 years. I mean, take a step down, take a prelim fight. You know, I mean, this guy, his body's beat up. He's had a long career. He just needs to step back in competition, if you ask me, speaking about Josh Emmett. So on to the next week, had Lerone Murphy, and we had Louis Sutherland. You know, I was following my boy UFC Dog picks on the Louis Sutherland. He was kind of convincing me, but, you know, we were both off on it. Thought maybe he could get it into the next round, into the later rounds, rather, the second or third. But no, I mean, he came out there looking very outmatched, panic wrestling from the start, and just not a good look for Louis Sutherland in that fight. I forget who he fought, but it was a gentleman from City Kickboxing, and you could tell with his style. I mean, he put it on Louis Sutherland. And then Lerone Murphy, I have that little asterisk next to it because I just don't feel that he lost that fight. That's something that you won't see me do often. Not often at all. So bear with me for 1 second, guys. Sorry, I just had a little pop-up on the screen. So on to the next week. We had Israel Adesanya. You know what? Let me back myself up. I apologize. The Lerone Murphy fight, I feel he won the first 3, and I feel like Evloev won the last 2, and then there was the point deduction. So I'm just shocked at the way that fight went, and the way that fight was scored overall. But hats off to Evloev, and hopefully we see him fighting for the title. I think it's very telling that that title fight has not been announced between him and Volkanovski. So, like I've said in a few videos now, keep an eye out for Jean Silva. I'm telling you, I think that's an option there. I think that's a serious option. So on to the next week now. Israel Adesanya. We were off. We were absolutely off. I went back and forth all week. Like I said, similar to the odds on that fight. It was essentially a pick'em fight. I want to say Izzy started off as the underdog at the beginning of the week, and then he flipped to the favorite by fight night. And he had a good game plan starting out, and just went away from it. So it was hard to watch Izzy go out like that. Izzy's grown on me over the years. I've grown to respect what he's done for the UFC and just what he's done in the sport in general, and just the champion that he was overall. So it'll be interesting. I know I say that a lot, but we'll see who they match Izzy up with next. It'll be interesting to see. But and hats off to Joe Pyfer in that fight. I mean, he did what he had to do. You could tell the lights were getting to him at first a little bit, but when he started getting touched, he's like, forget it. I'm going to go back to what I know what to do, and that's brawl, and that's what Izzy let him do. That's what Izzy let him do. So on to the next week, which was last week. Oh, but no, Alexei Grasso, awesome knockout and chokeout though. Underdog lock, kind of got us back on track. We were 3 straight losses, as you see there, on our underdog lock. So Alexei Grasso really saved us, and she did it in a spectacular way. I was saying all week in every comment section I could be in, you can't doubt someone like Grasso and where she's been at and what she's done, especially against someone like Macy Barber. I just don't feel that Macy was quite at that level yet, and Grasso showed that. So Chris Duncan, yeah, that we were completely off on this one. I was following narrative, which I will never do again. I will always just trust my eyes and my tape study opposed to just my gut and what I'm feeling, because that's what I was doing in this fight. And I wanted to just believe, Moicano's sitting here like me. He's just a streamer. He's not doing much. No, I mean, these guys are professional fighters. They live completely different lives than us. So the streamer life of a UFC fighter is much different than a streamer life of myself and some of the others you listen to here. So, hats off to him getting a win where he was completely doubted and honestly, unjustly the underdog in that fight. I was shocked to see those odds. I really was. So hats off to him. Chris Duncan, back to the prelims, man. Now this past week, got back on track here, 9-3 overall. We were only 2-2 in our most confident picks on the week, but underdog lock hit. Cub Swanson and his swan song, I guess you can say, that he got, and his retirement fight, getting the knockout in the first round over Landwehr, who's a tough customer, man. Landwehr is not, he does not go away like that. I would actually love to go back and in his record and see when the last time Landwehr got finished in the first round, if he has ever, because I don't know if he has. So congrats to Cub Swanson. I hope he enjoys his retirement. Carlos Alberg, we know about this one. I've talked it ad nauseum this week, so I'm not going to go through it again. Yuri, I feel like he kind of gave it to him on a platter, and Carlos Alberg just lapped it up. So that's how that fight went, and that's all I got for you. So that's essentially the record over the past 2 months. I appreciate everyone who's been rocking with me, and just to kind of let everyone know who doesn't know the rundown here for round 3, and I appreciate everyone who's been in and out of the chat. I do a flagship show that is usually dropped on Wednesday or Thursday, and I do a deep dive into the main event, into the co-main event. I give you guys a quick pick of the whole card. I give you guys my 4 most confident picks, and I give you guys my underdog lock of the week. And you see some of those here. My quick picks and just overall in general are what you see on the screen, the 69 and 35 overall. Respectable, not bad. We're still growing, we're still learning. I'm not mad at it. And then, like I said, I do 4 most confident picks. A lot of channels do 5. Some just do, 1 most confident or 1 lock of the week. I like to have some fun, so I do 4. But I guarantee you at least one of those to be on the main card. Okay, so on our most confident picks in the past 2 months, we are 21 and 11. Thank you for who's rocking with me in the room right now. I appreciate you. Yeah, most confident picks are 21 and 11, and like I said, I give you 4 of those every week, so that's a fairly respectable record. Underdog locks, we gotta lock in here on them. 4 and 4 is all right, but I would like that record to be much better. And same with the main events, 4 and 4 on the main events. So we're honing in, and you can see we're getting better. We're figuring this out, right? So thank you, everyone who's been rocking with me. I cannot thank you all enough. I do, just to kind of give you my breakdown again, I'm sorry. I give you my flagship show Wednesday, Thursday. As you know, everything that goes into that. And then I come at you with a live show on Thursday as well. And I go through just value that we can find on the card. And then Sunday, I come at you with round 3 dinner. And that's either just myself, if my co-host Chase can't join me. And that's Chase Militia Keebler, who also has a fight coming up April 25th, and that's in North Carolina. So, I'm sorry, he's fights out of North Carolina now. His fight would be in Virginia. So, I will keep you guys posted on that one. And really big news for the channel coming either within the next few days or within the next few weeks. All right, so stay rocking with me, and you will definitely see what that is. So I appreciate you guys, and we will see you next time in round 3.